Hey guys, this is Fracus. Welcome back. This is SimpleKits tutorial part 3, and I know it's been a while, but I'm back. And today we'll be covering how to put a timer on the kits, and we're going to also cover how to display the kits to the user. And we may do that in part 4. But coming back in here, we need to go and set up the timer. So what we need to do is, oh yeah, one thing that I forgot to talk about is in the last tutorial I had arg. This array here with just arg, but it's supposed to be args. As you can see here, args to match that up there. So just make sure you have that. And I don't think I put my semicolon here in the last tutorial either, so just make sure you have your semicolon. Alright, so in the last tutorial we made sure that the kit, that when the player put in a kit name, that it actually got the kit. And if that kit name has any items in it, then we're going to return true, otherwise we're going to return false. So when it gets here to this part of the code, kit is either going to be true or false based on whether or not that kit exists. So what we need to do now is we're going to set up our timer. So I'm going to go ahead and just set up a variable called time remaining, and we'll write our own custom function, get time remaining, and we're going to pass a player through it like we talked about before up here. So we talked about making this custom function that we're going to write ourselves, and just for safety reasons we're just going to go ahead and make sure that we parse in it. And we don't really have to, but I like to do it just to be safe, just to make sure that if anything other than an int gets passed through this function, we make sure that it's an int, because we're going to do something later with this time remaining. We want to make sure it's an integer. So let's go down to the bottom here and let's start on our new function, get time remaining. So like I said before, it's going to just pass through one argument, which is going to be players. So we'll go ahead and write out function get time remaining, and we're going to pass a player through it. Alright, and hopefully I won't mess this up too bad. It's been a month since I worked on this plugin, so bear with me. So we're going to need a couple of variables here. We're going to need the last kit time, and what we're going to do is we're going to just do the parse int like we did before. Make sure that it's actually an integer, because we're going to be using it and we don't want it to be a string or any other type of data type. So we're going to do data store dot get, and I'll explain this in a minute, but essentially what we're going to do is whenever the player gets the kit, we're going to store that time to the data store. And we talked about data store before, so hopefully you guys won't be too confused about this. We're just gonna, with the data store, we're gonna name it SimpleKits, and we're gonna base it on the Steam ID, because we want a unique system of identifying the last time that they I'll explain this better. Let me just write it out first. Okay, so we want a unique way of getting the last kit time. So the best way to do that for me, that I usually do, is I get their Steam ID, the player's Steam ID, then I add on just the little tag kit time. So the next time that a player tries to get a kit, it's going to run this code. So it's going to pass through that player, and we're going to use their Steam ID, player.steam ID. And we're going to see what their last time is. So we'll do more with that in a minute. We're also going to get the current time, because that's going to be important. And it's just going to be system.date time, and this is just a built-in JavaScript function, or let's see, yeah. And we can just, what this does is it returns the current time in milliseconds. So let's just divide it by 1,000 just to make it seconds, to make it the same. You know, we have everything else is done in seconds that we've done so far, so we want to make it consistent. We're also going to get a cooldown, and we'll grab that from our config file. So we're just going to make sure it's an int, parse int, data dot get config value. The config name is SimpleKits. That's what we're going to name our config file. We're going to look under the config tag, and we're going to look under kit cooldown. Okay, so, and I'll show you that really quick. Here's our SimpleKits config. there's the config tag and then the config cooldown value, and it's 30. So for now we have it set at 30 seconds. So we have the last kit time, we have the current time, we also have the cooldown. We'll need to do some math with those 30 variables. We're also going to make sure that the last kit time isn't equal to undefined, because it could be equal to undefined if they never got a kit before. And just for good measure, we're going to do equal to null too. Kit time is equal to null. So we're just going to make sure it's not equal to null or undefined. We're going to make sure they've actually got a kit before. Otherwise, there won't be a value there, and we don't want it to crash. And in the case that they haven't got a kit before, we're just going to equal the last kit time equal to 0, which is just meaning the beginning of time, that whatever time they started using the seconds for. So that means no matter what, they'll be able to get a kit since the last kit time's set to 0. Okay, so we're going to do time remaining, for time remaining, make a new variable, and we're going to do some math here. If the cooldown is less than time minus last kit time, or actually we're just doing math here. Okay, so what we're going to do is in the variable time remaining, we're going to get the cooldown, which is 30, the current time, which I'm not sure what the current time is right now, but it'll return a value in seconds because we divided it by 1,000. And we're also going to get the last kit time, which will be in seconds as well. So we're just going to subtract the difference. So it's kind of like this. Let's say 30 seconds minus the current time. Let's say the current time is 200. Let's say the last kit time is, hopefully I'm explaining this right, I haven't done this in forever. So let's say the last kit time was 190. So the difference here would be, okay, so it'd be 30 minus 10, which would be equal to 20. So, and the time remaining is 20 seconds. The next time they'll be able to use the kit is in 20 seconds from now. And as this value gets higher, let's say like 260, then the math will change, and then we'll be able to get the kit after it gets past 30. So, or gets lower than 30. Alright, so hopefully that makes sense. You can play with it and see how it works. So we're going to do one other thing here. If is NaN stands for, I think, not a number. Time remaining. We're going to pass through the variable. I can't remember why I did this before. I should have. Yeah, I'm not sure why I did this before. I should have left a comment. But pretty much what I did was, for some reason, I guess I ran into a problem where if the time remaining was not an integer, then I set it to 0. So yeah, I should have documented that. But yeah, just go ahead and include that. Just, we're just making sure that the program doesn't crash. And then we're going to return the value get time remaining, or time remaining. Okay, so I'll make sure everything looks good. Hopefully we don't have any bugs in here. Everything messed up there. Time remaining. Okay, everything else looks good that I can tell.